and then install Ubuntu. So anyways, let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so here we go. Here's our terminal, and we're gonna just do a Rails new, oops, let's call it post. Rails new, let's call it a, I don't know. My name's Norm, so let's call it Norm. There we go. It sets up all its files. And we're going to go over to it. CD norm will take me into the file. And I use Atom as my text editor. So Atom open, and this will open up all these files you saw right here in Atom. And there it is. There's Rails. This is what Rails looks like inside. All the different files and everything going on in here. We're just going to open up some of these that I'm going to use all the time. All right, so we can close this. So all we're going to do is make a simple web app. Where we can post a message and we can comment on the message. That's all we're going to do. So first of all, we need a post model. You know what? First, let's make a welcome page so that we know that the app is working. So let's do that. So let's Rails generate controller welcome index. So let's generate that first. That'll give us a view where our home page is going to be. I'm going to cheat a little bit in this because I am going to actually copy some stuff from another website and post it in here. So here's our home page, and this is what's going to show up when we open the app. But first, we need to do some other things. So here's our routes. We need to route this to the. We need to make this the home page. So it's going to route to welcome index, so that when we do start the server, it'll show us that. So cd norm Rails S. Rails S is the shortcut for starting the server up. So the server's up and running. We're going to go back. And when we go to our localhost, where Rails gives us a localhost of 3000, so that's where we are, localhost 3000. And here we are, welcome index. So that's what's written inside the index page right there. So we know that the server is working. So ta-da, we're in Rails. All right. So since we have a home page, we need to have a little bit of a navigation going on, don't we? So let's create the navigation. Let's do header. And I'm just going to copy it because it just takes a long time to type all that out. And we're just going to create a really simple navigation bar at the top of the screen. And here it is right there. All it is just a nav bar with a few links to some pages, which we are going to change later on. We're going to save that. And in order for us to see that, let's do some coding here. We're going to make a div class. Whoa. Equals container. There we go. That's where we want our yield. And then here we're going to have, just close the div off. And then below that, we're going to have, let's render the layout itself. Layouts header. All right, so now we should have actually we need to do some other things before we see the navigation bar at the top there. So let's do that. Let's, in our gem file, we need to install Bootstrap. And I always do it right here. Not BEM, gem. Bootstrap SASS. I'm going to save that. We need to stop the server just for a second. and we need to install this. All right, we're just making sure that Bootstrap SaaS is installed. So in our assets style sheets, we're going to create a custom file. Oops. This is it's a SAS file. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is probably really boring to everybody out there. That's all right. It's a bunch of coding. All right, we'll save that. All right, now we should see the web page in action. Let's go back. We should see our nav bar at the top. There it is. There's a little nav bar. Cute, isn't it? All right, we're going to take out the active stuff here because you know what? We're just not active. You know, let's just take that out. So there's no. See this thing right here? I hate that it's on the home. So I just like to cancel it out because who cares if that's on home? You know, whoopie ding. All right. Good. Let's clear this. Let's go up the top here. Let's do a Rails generate model post. And we're going to have a text area, which is text. I'm going to migrate the database. And then we need a controller for it. Rails generate controller post. Posts. It's plural when you generate the controller. All right, that gave us a controller. Okay, so this is all from scratch, people. So just bear with me here. So in our controllers, we're going to define a new, define a create, define. I didn't spell create right. There we go. Define show, define index, let's just do that for now. So in our views, we have posts here. We need a new. I need to save that. All right, so in order to make a post in the first place, we need a form to make it with. Correct? Correct. So let's do that here. So we're going to make a form that it's basically a web page that's going to hold our form here. So this is a form for at post do f. We're going to make them p tags. And we called it text. So everything that we do in the form is going to be a text. All right, and that's it. That is all we need for the form. So now in the new, we're just going to render, actually at the top, we're going to make it an H1, and we're going to say new post. Whoopie ding, right? Just a big old H1 tag. And then give a break. And then below that, give the form. And Rails is smart enough to know that we're going to render that form right there. So how do we get to it? How do we get to the new form page, right? Well, that's where we're going to use these links up here for. So here's home, here's a website name. So we need to change some stuff. In fact, in our routes, we need to make sure we can route to our pages. So here we have resources, posts. In our header, this first link here, this page 1, is going to be our new post link. It's going to be a link to new post, and it's new post path. Like that. Let's see if it works. Refresh the page. Here's our new post. Aha. Okay. So what's happening here is it's going to be an error because in our controller we haven't defined any parameters. All right. Let's see if that works. I'll just define the what I'm doing is instantiating the post variable for the web page itself. Let's restart this. Okay, here we go. Here's our new post. All we're going to do is put a text in here and then click this button to create it. All right, nothing's happening when we do that, by the way. So, all right. We're going to send it post params, which we're going to define below because they are private. And that's one of the security things that somebody found was if you don't privately define your params for your database, you can actually go to a web page. The hackers can go into a web page, change those parameters, and leave without a trace. And Rails has fixed it. Has fixed that security problem by using private parameters. Anyways, we're going to redirect to @post, or we can do post path @post. I guess. Let's try that. Down here, we're going to have some other things here. Edit, update, destroy. So down here we're going to have private. We're going to define the post params. So params dot require post. And then we're going to permit our parameters, which is just a text. We're going to end it. Okay, so we need a place for this to go, right? And that's where it's going to go, right there, to our show page. So when we click this button, we need for the text to actually show up somewhere on a different page, correct? I mean, we want to see what we typed. We don't want it just to hang in limbo somewhere. So we're going to the show page. Let's close all this stuff we don't need. This is going to be really simple. It's just going to be an H1, and it's just going to show our post. That's it. That's all we want for now. So let's refresh this. Let's look at our controller real fast to make sure we have everything. Yeah, okay, so this should work. I mean, if we type something in here, so this is our first post. Let's create it. Aha, we're getting a error. I wonder if we could just do an at post here. Let's try that. No. Let's type it again. Haha. Interesting. So our routes. So we have our routes. The routes are right. Yep, so we have a new post. We have posts for index. Very interesting. Let's see if I can find where the error is going on here. Oh, I see. Okay, so in our controller we need to actually save it. We can actually put the save over here, but just to see it, you know, better going straight down the page or straight down this file, we can put it there. We saved it. Just make sure everything's saved out. Let's go back. Let's create this again. Aha, there we go. This is our first post. So we weren't actually saving the information into the database. Interesting. Okay. So now we can make a new post here. We can save it and then go back, and this is our first post. Now what we need is a navigation to each post, right? So that's an index, basically an index page of all the posts. So let's make that file. And in here, we'll just make a little h1 tag listing posts. We'll give a little space in between the top and the actual posting list. And here we're going to do we're going to cycle through all of the different posts, which is the at post.each. So it'll actually take each post as they come along in, as it's found in the database. We're just going to make this a p tag. We're not going to make it anything big at all, and we're just going to go right down. Oops. Just like that. And we're going to put a break in between each one, just so there's some space. We can even put a line, like a horizontal rule, like that, instead of a break, and that'll give some space also. And we need to end the each statement. Okay. So in our header, we need to make that a way to get a navigation, give some navigation to our list. So link to list posts, and this is post path. So let's do that. Let's refresh the page and see if our list post works. Oh, okay. Oh, what? It said undefined message method each. Ah, interesting. Now in our index, we need to make Alright, so what we're doing is we're assigning the variable at post. Yeah, that's supposed to be an equal sign. Giving them all the posts into at post. So this variable is holding all the posts. And that way, when it gets to this page over here, to the index page, oops, not you, that this at post.each, it'll have all of the posts there to cycle through. Alright, let's do that. Let's go back and list the posts again. There it is. Now, I always make this mistake. Let's do that again. There we go. Alright, so let's make a new post. Second post. And list the posts. Here's our first post, second post. And it's going to list them on down. And then there they are. 1, 2, 3. On down the list. Very interesting. Alright, now we can show this. Let's just do that here. We can link to show and it's post path post. So there should be a show link right behind the post, and this will take us back to our page. So each of these, you can go back to the actual page here. So a link to show post path post, and now you can actually go back to its actual page, and this is right there. It is the one there. So you can actually change this number to a 3 and go to the third post we made. Interesting. So here's the second one. This is a 2. Oh, we didn't wire up our home page, so we can go back home also with that link up there. Right here, let's just wire it up real quick. Alright, home, and it's just a root path. That should be working now. All right, that takes us back to our home page. That's all our home page is. I mean, when you're dealing with the back end of Rails, you're not really worried about the web design. You know, there are people who will get paid to design your website. Well, this Rails is the back end of it. You're not really worried about the front end of it as much. You're just making sure that the application itself works. I mean, let's list our pages. We can make a new post and we can go back home. So that's excellent for our links so far. And we can edit the posts also. There's a way that you can edit the posts. And all that is just submitting this form to a page. So let's do that a while. So we're going to give another big old H1 for editing post. Let's just go down a line and then render it again, render the form. And it's smart enough to know what's going on. That's all you have to type. It's so simple. I mean, well, it's really easy to just to type that, and it will know what's going on. It's kind of magical, actually. So in our controllers, we need to make sure that the edit knows what information is being passed into the page. All right, so in our index, now we're going to have a link to edit. So let's wire that up. You know what? I think we need post in there too. Yes. Okay, let's try that. Let's go to our lists. So now we have a link to edit, and we can actually edit this. But you know what? We missed something in our controllers because it doesn't have anything to save. See, there's no save here. Well, that's what the define update comes from. Because in web stuff, it's what you call crud. So you have a create, you have a read, which is the R in crud, which is the show, and then you have the U, which is the update, and then you have the D, which is destroy. So in every web page and every app and every database that you have for a website, you have a CRUD. You have a way to create, a way to read the information, create the information, read the information, update the information, and destroy the information. You have to make sure that all those actions are in your application. So much like the create, we're going to mirror the edit page here just for a second. Ooh. Oh, right. Ooh, it's post params. And we're going to redirect back to at post once we update it. Okay, let's try it. So this is our first post. It even put in what we wrote inside the text area. So we're updating the first post. Updating the first post, it saved it, it printed it out for us because we went back to the post page itself, and we can list the posts, and there we go. Here's all the posts that we did, and we even have our the one that we updated. All right, so now we can update. Next is destroy. So we can have a link next to here to destroy. Let's wire that up. and redirect to post path this time. We're going to go back to the index page once we destroy it. Okay. Now we need to wire it up in the index page. We'll call it delete. We will not call it destroy. Okay. So the method is delete. The post path post, the method is delete. Let's see if it wired up. Let's delete this last one. Oh, we have to find... Oh, I see. So we have to find the post itself, which I'm just going to make sure. Right, so we have to actually find the post. So that post equals post.find params ID. Then we're going to destroy it. Post.destroy. And redirect back to the posts. So let's see that again. Let's delete this one. And there it is, it's gone. So new post, let's try deleting this one. Of course I spelled deleting wrong. List of posts, let's try deleting this one, delete, boom, done, gone. There you go, we've just created our post controller from scratch. Man, Alright, so real fast here, we are going to make another model. We're going to make a comment model. We're going to have content, and it's also going to be text. And I always forget to associate it with the other model. So I'm going to cheat and copy the code for the migration. Alright, so we got to go in here into our migrations, and here we're going to put this. It's not article, it's actually a post. Alright. Oh. Now we can run the migration. Uh-oh. Okay. Yep, we got it. We're going to generate a comments controller. So now here we have a actual controller where we're going to go in and do a create and update, or create and destroy methods for the comments. It doesn't need its own pages because the comments are going to go on the show pages. But before we do that, we got to make sure the routes are right. So we have a routes post, and now we have, I'm sorry, a resources post, and now we're going to have a resources comments. Inside, it's going to be nested inside the posts because the comments are going to be on the post pages. Now this is the first time we're going to get into the models. So in our posts was our first model. They're going to contain comments. So a post has many comments. And a comment, because it goes on a post page, it's going to belongs to post. So on this page, we're going to be able to, below this, we're going to have a form here, or right here, that's going to be able to allow us to make a comment, and then below that, we're going to show the comments on these posts. All right, so here's our views for comments. We're going to have a new file, just a form again. Let's get rid of all this. I don't like having this stuff up, because if you close them, it'll remind you that it's not saved, and I like that. So that's why I close them, just so I can say, hey, something wasn't saved. Oops, form 4. Now this is a little bit more tricky. So basically, we're passing in two parameters. We're passing in the post, and then we're going to build a post comment. Do F again, and then below here, we're just going to make them real small paragraph. You know, a paragraph form. Nothing big. You know, we're not going to make it all like eye-popping or anything, because remember, we're not worried about the design, we're just worried about making it work. So the label is just the content, and then the area where you're going to type in is just a text area. Close off the paragraph tag. We're going to have a submit button. Like so, and then end the form. Like that. And that's it. That's just the basic form for our comment, which is now inside this form file. So we got to render the form file in the show page. So here's the show page. So we're just going to have a little break and a horizontal rule. We're going to render comments form. Like so. So let's see if that's working. Let's refresh this and see if the form pops up here. I don't think it's going to work, because it might. Let's see if it works. Yes, it does. There's our form for the comment. Great. All right. So before we get to the comment, let's actually tell the person who's on the page, or below, I guess, or here. All right. Let's do that. Make it a little user-friendly. Write a comment here. There we go. That looks a lot better. Like a space there to write something. You're like, what am I writing something here for? Well, we're going to write a comment here. That's what we're going to do. So, anyways, that's good. That's awesome. We're going to break again, make a little space, make a little horizontal rule to see the space. And then below here, we're going to actually print out the comments. So see comments below. Yay. Oh man. And we'll get to writing this out after we wire it up in the controller. So here's our comments controller, and then here, of course, you know, we have to have, let's save this. We have to have the create action, and we're going to have a destroy action. just like that. In the create, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. We're going to find the post. But in this case, it's not going to be the ID of the post. What we did when we ran the migration in our database is we actually put a foreign key on the end of the as a database column, okay, and it's called post. Actually, no, it's just a post ID is what it is. It's a foreign key called post ID. So we need to reference that in our controller when finding the post, because that's what's going to link the comment to the right post. So in our controllers, in the comments controller, it's not ID, it's post. Oops. ID. And now we can link there we go. Oops, comment params. And like before, we need to make a private method to hold our params, so that a hacker cannot come in and change those parameters. I mean, can you imagine if you have all this database information and all of a sudden a hacker comes in and changes all of it without being noticed? That's what one of the security issues was with Rails, was they could come in, change some parameters in a web page, on your web page in your database, and not be noticed. And that's kind of hard. That's kind of frightening if you think about it. We're going to save it, and then we're going to redirect to post path at post, just to make sure we go back to the right post once we save it, because we want to see what we wrote and it's being written back to the same page that the post was. All right, so down here, let's define the comment params this time. And it's comment, and we're permitting the content. And this will change as you put more columns. Like let's say you want to add attributes to the comments, or you want to add other things you want to put on the comments. Like for example, who wrote the comment, what time the comment, or no, not what time, but who wrote the comment, what their age was, where they're living. All these kind of other attributes that you can add. You can add them in here. For example, I could put the age, the state they live, blah blah blah. You can keep going out and out and out like that, and we're not worried about that. We're just doing a simple one. So let's end this. All right, so we wired it up in the comments controller. Let's go back to our show page and let's write it out. So we're gonna have a break. So it's at post.comment.each do comment, and here we're just going to print it out in H. We'll do H4s. Whoa. So a comment.content. Do we want a break in between these? Because we're going to have a close H4 tag. So let's have a little break in between these so that there's room, you know what I mean? So in between each of these is room, because we're going to have other things here also. We're going to have a delete link also, but let's just make sure that this is working first. So let's go back to our page. Let's write a comment. I hope it works. So, writing a comment. And it didn't work. And in the background, I am hearing sirens. Ooh. Did we end? Oh, you know what? We did not end. See, it says expecting keyword end. So I'm wondering if we didn't. Let's go listing post show. Okay, so we need an end. All right. So on our show page, we didn't end this each statement. So let's do that down here. There we go. So let's show this. Oop, 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 oop. Oh, look, and I made this mistake again too. Ugh. We're getting an error that comments is an undefined method. So I'm wondering if it is plural comments. I bet you it is. Let's do that again. There it is. And there's our writing a comment right there. It saved it. Let's write another one. And there's our next comment. So there we go. We can write all kind of comments. And there's another one. Bingo. It's working. All right, so one of the things about the comments is you want to be able to delete it. Let's wire that up. And this is a little bit tricky when it comes to deleting. But we'll make sure it works. No problem. Actually, it's comment dot post comma comment, I believe, and method delete. Let's do a confirm message to see what that looks like. Confirm. Ooh, do I know how to do a confirm? Maybe not. Too much. I forgot how to do a confirm message. But anyways, a confirm which is pop up saying, hey, you're sure you want to delete this, blah, blah, blah. But probably doesn't matter. Let's see if the delete buttons are here. Yes, they are. Here's the delete buttons. That's right. We put a break before the delete. We can even give it a little bit more of a character by putting a horizontal rule in there, just to make it look like a grid. Like that. Give it a little more space. You can clearly see where each comment is. So we can delete, you know what? In our model, in our post model, this is dependent destroy. All right, let's just delete this last one. Oh, you know what? We didn't wire up the destroy, did we? And we didn't do anything with that, so it doesn't even know where to go. All right, let's wire that up in the controller. Post ID. This is you're copying from up top here. So basically you're doing this and then this, you know. except we're not going to do the create, we're going to do the destroy. So at comment equals post, oops, at post dot comments dot find params. So we're finding the correct post params. I'm sorry, the correct comment by its ID. Hey, now we can destroy it since we have it, and then redirect to back to the post itself. So basically we're setting this variable equal to the post that we're on. This variable is going to be equal to the comment that we're deleting. This is going to destroy it, and then this is going to redirect us back to the page. Let's see if that works. Let's delete this here. This should disappear when we click it. And there it goes. It's gone. There is no more. I don't know why this other delete is here. Don't know why it's there. But anyways, we can delete this one too. Boom, gone. Let's delete this one. Boom, gone. There we go. We just did two models. One, a post, and then two, so let's create a new post. Let's say, let's practice. Wow. Practicing with this one. Here's the post up here. We're going to write a comment. Practicing with this post, and then practicing deleting. And all we're doing is clicking buttons. And there it is. We're done. You might want to ask what this page 3 is. Let's make a page 3. Let's go down here and actually make a page 3. Oops, page 3. Let's in big letters. Actually, oh, okay. Let's just say this is page number 3. So in our control, or in our routes, we need to make that page. That's page 3. Ooh, just like that. All right, and we need a link to it in our header. The header link needs to change. So let's change that. Whoa. I wonder, does that work? Page 3 path? That can't work. I think it's welcome. Oh boy. Oops. Oh, let's try that. There it is. So this is page 3. So we have the home, new post, listing the posts, and a page 3. There you go.